Allen, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Chair. To Mr. Fonnenberg. Mr. Fonnenberg, how long have you been Deputy Minister of the Department of National Defence?
I think about 4 years and 7 months, Mr. Chairman.
So sometime in 2008 you would have been appointed, give or take a month or two.
Actually, 2007, I believe.
Thank you. So you would have been around in 2010 at the Auditor General's Fall Report, Chapter 6 on the Chinooks and the maritime helicopters. Is that correct?
I would have been the Deputy Minister at the time, yes, sir.
So did you read the report of the Auditor General, Chapter 6 in 2010 Fall Report?
I did indeed.
Did you make note of the recommendation that says that we should have full life cycle costs involved when we actually bring estimates to government?
Mr. Chairman, we actually tabled a fairly detailed management action plan, not this time, but that time, in response to that particular recommendation, and are prepared to talk to the progress we've made in actually undertaking the response to that recommendation.
Well, rather than talk to the progress, sir, why indeed didn't it happen with the F-35s if you acknowledge the fact that you didn't do full life cycle costing for the maritime helicopters and the Chinooks, agreed with the AG that you would do it in future projects, and yet you've now come back to me, and let me quote to you, sir, from what you said this morning. I would note that the approach we took for costing the F-35 is exactly the same approach, and the same 20-year time frame that has taken with all of our air assets procurement going back to at least 2004 for the maritime helicopter project, the Chinooks, the Hercules J models, the new C-17 Globemasters. In each case, announcements and communications focused only on the cost of acquisition and sustainment, never on operating costs. Sir, in light of your statement today, and in light of the review that you actually in 2010 accepted the Auditor General's report, and I'm not going to go back and quote the report from the book that I have in front of me from 2010, why didn't you do what you said you would do in 2010 with this project?
Mr. Chairman, just to get the timing and the sequencing right, the costing and the decision documents for Cabinet were completed in the spring of 2010. The Auditor General's report was in the fall of 2010. Our management action plan, which spoke to that recommendation, spoke to timing that would have seen that work completed, I believe, later in 2011. We can update on the timing, but the fact of the matter is the costing we did was 7 or 8 months before the Auditor General's report in 2010.
Actually, sir, I beg to differ. The costing you did goes back to the 2008-2009 budget when you said the costing was $25 billion. So clearly in 2008-2009 you knew it was 25. In 2010 you came up with a new costing. So how did 25 get to 15, sir, in light of the fact that you had asked for 25 as a costing estimate at full life cycle cost, and kudos for doing it right in 2008-2009. So how did you get it so wrong after the fact when you dropped it to 15 from 25?
Mr. Chairman, we actually tried to clarify with the Auditor General his comments about $25 billion in 2008-2009. We never had such an estimate. So you'd have to speak to him about where that estimate actually came from.
Actually, sir, if I interrupted, and I hate to do this to you, know that, but time is sensitive here. He takes the number from the budget that your minister put forward to Cabinet to ask Parliament to authorize $25 billion is where it came from. Are you saying, sir, that you as a Deputy Minister did not require the $25 billion and did not ask for it?
No, what I'm saying is that there was no $25 billion in the decision document in 2008, Mr. Chairman. As far as we can tell, you'd have to ask the Auditor General where that number actually came from. We spoke to his office, told him we would be clarifying that issue. In terms of, if you would like me to go on the $25 to $15 billion, if there's time, I don't know.
So it's up to you, Mr. Allen. You want him to conclude or do you want to move on?
No, so what you're telling me, just so I'm clear, is the department never costed the life cycle cost of the F-35 in 2008-2009, and that the department did not ask in that budget for $25 billion, and that the Auditor General is wrong when he makes that statement in that paragraph?
To the absolute best of my knowledge, that's actually correct, Mr. Chairman.
So the correct part is that the Auditor General is wrong.
His statement, not in his report itself, but my understanding from his testimony last week was that he got it wrong on the 2008 issue and the $25 billion.
And I guess we have to ask the Auditor General how he got his numbers wrong. So notwithstanding that, so are you saying, sir, that your number has always been $15 billion, that you never had a number of $25 billion?
No, and I think actually that issue has been clarified, Mr. Chairman. Just to be clear, in 2008, when the Government of Canada approved the Canada First Defence Strategy, we included, at that time, publicly I believe, a $9 billion acquisition envelope. When the decision documents were prepared for Cabinet in 2010, we sought $9 billion for acquisition, $5.7 billion for in-service support over 20 years, and we indicated that we expected that the operating costs of the aircraft over 20 years would be roughly the same as the CF-18 fleet.
And could you tell me the number, sir? I hate to interrupt you. You're telling I don't know what the number for CF-18 is. Do you know what it is?
Yes, it's the same number we used for, basically the same number that we used for the F-35. We said we thought that the operating costs would be similar, so $10 billion over 20 years.
So that number would
I'm
be
sorry,
25.
Mr. Allen, please, sir.
Thanks, Chair.